Travel disruption is expected in large parts of the UK across Easter weekend.
Rough weather from Storm Nelson remains with flood warnings and alerts in places across England.
Well, Network Rail urging train passengers to here we go again. Check journey details before travelling due to some major routes being closed for, guess what? Engineering work.
It's Easter, why wouldn't you? We're now joined by travel correspondent for The Independent, the wonderful Simon Calder, who I always make a point of not being where you are, Simon, because it's always problematical. Good morning, Simon. Thank you for joining us. It's Easter. There's travel chaos.
Yes, and look, there's a difference, Dawn, and good morning to you and to Stephen. There's a difference between the chaos that we were expecting, and that should be kind of managed. Here at London Euston, for instance, we've known for months that they are going to close the entire main line all the way through till Easter Monday. I was actually travelling on Thursday evening. My goodness, it was pretty lively. I wasn't on the last helicopter out of Saigon, but you got that impression as everybody tried to make their journeys. Since then, the line leading from here to the West Midlands, to North West England, North Wales and Southern Scotland is blocked completely. There are workarounds, our old friend, the bus replacement service, or if you want to try something different, and I did this yesterday actually, London Marylebone to Birmingham, you can avoid the worst of the problems, but journeys are typically going to take a couple of hours longer. The real serious issue, though, is actually for the things we weren't expecting, and that includes, you mentioned Storm Nelson, huge amounts of disruption right across the Great Western region. We had on Thursday, Friday, for instance, big problems on the lines to South Wales from London Paddington and to Bristol. Now it looks like the main line from London to Devon and Cornwall is blocked. There are workarounds, but again, everything going very, very slow. So as Network Rail and the rest of the railway industry says, please check. But on top of all the stuff we knew about, like, for example, between Manchester and Huddersfield, you have to catch a bus. There's other stuff that's coming down the track.
Is it looking any better on the roads, the airports or the ferries?
OK, well, let's start with the roads. Yesterday, we kind of got through very heavy traffic in the middle of the day. Today, actually, the AA says it's going to be the worst day because of all the people taking day trips. Now, that's going to include people who are going to out-of-town shopping centres because it's a Saturday. Also, of course, the entire football programme that we'll see a lot of people on the roads. And then you have people setting off on a week's holiday, and how lovely for them. So around the big places like the Trafford Centre in Manchester, you can expect some heavy traffic, and of course the old favourites of the M5 heading south towards Devon and Cornwall, and the famous junction which you will know, Stephen, going north along the M6, when everybody in the whole world decides they just got to go to the beautiful Lake District, and in particular the fine town of Ulverston.
Beautiful place to go, Ulverston. Beautiful. We saw. I mean, I know it was old footage of some of the queues at the ferries, at the ferry terminals, though. But hopefully, any problems on the ferries? Because it's a nice weekend to sort of jump and head over to France or head over to Ireland.
Apart from the storm.
Well, apart from the storm.
Yeah. Well. This time last year, those are exactly the sorts of images we saw, very, very long queues, particularly for people in coaches. And that's because if you're on a coach, and I've done this, maybe from London's Victoria coach station across to Paris, you will typically, on a bus of 50 people, have a dozen different nationalities. It's all very convivial, good fun, but you get quite a lot of attention from the French police aux frontières. You can see in that picture that actually it's not just a place where you get on a ship, it's also somewhere where the French frontier police handle all the post-Brexit checks that they need to carry out that will get you into France. So you're stuck between the cliffs and the channel, all a bit tricky. The cars are actually getting through OK today. We had big problems with some coaches early on yesterday morning, but P&O ferries have just come up and said if you're coming back from Calais on a coach, waits of over an hour. In order to complete formalities, that would be leaving France and joining the UK, because we have the UK border force in Calais. So with all those things, hope for the best, but be prepared for delays and disruption. We saw queues peaking at about 2 hours yesterday at Dover. But the great thing is, unlike if you get to an airport late and you missed your flight, you're not getting on a plane without spending hundreds of pounds. The ferry companies will just put you on the next available boat. So you might be waiting an extra 90 minutes, which is annoying, but you will get where you need to be without any extra expense.
Yeah, that's a fair point, but I still think we should all just stay at home, Simon, this weekend.
And watch telly.
And watch telly. Good to see you, as always. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Simon.